Well, hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. Um, I do want to start with just you sharing your name and your congregation.
My name is Aley Wilson, and I'm a part of the Rhema Christian Center congregation.
Yeah. And so my first question is, why do you want to see change in the Columbus Police Department?
Well, I have been here in the city for a long time. I've seen the changing of the different police chiefs. And I've always felt that they didn't treat everybody fairly, including the members of their own police department. And so, for that reason, and some of the decisions that they made, I didn't necessarily agree with, and I thought they were biased. So I felt that it was time, especially now with all that has been going on since um, COVID-19, and so many things have been brought out concerning unfairness and the injustices that are committed by uh, police in our own communities. So that is basically where I stand and why I am interested in seeing change and fairness.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, especially being in the city, um, you get to see different facets of it as it progresses, as it goes through all the different changes. My next question is something more personal. Have you or someone you know been a victim of police harassment, police brutality, or just racial profiling?
Well, I guess you would put it under the classification of racial profiling. And that came about. I have never personally been involved, but indirectly, yes, my sons. I have two grown sons now. But when they were teenagers, I know my oldest son came home and he was so very upset. And I said, well, what's wrong? And so he said that he had been at the mall and that the police were there and they were walking around and just stopping and looking in windows and so forth and so on. And then they were approached by the officers and wanting to know what they were up to, what they were doing. They wanted to search them and all of these kind of things. And that's what really made me aware that there were differences, especially if you're a young Black man, and they just make assumptions that you're up to something. And it's not always the case. Sometimes, yes, but a lot of times you're just an innocent victim. And that was when I really then began to think about it. And now I have 9 grandsons, and I often think about them if they're going out, if they're in a car, if they're just in a group of people, just whatever. And it makes me fearful. And I tell them all the time, if you get stopped, whether it's you're right, you're wrong, don't get smart. Just do as you're instructed to do, because the life you save may be your own. And I don't think that that should be the way that it is when we pay our taxes, we do everything that everybody else does, but don't make the assumption that we're up to something because of the color of our skin.
Yeah, I think that conversation is far too common that adults have to have with their children, grandchildren before they walk out the house. That they have to have this certain decorum about themselves that other children don't have to have. Even if you're just existing, like you said, paying taxes, living life, you do have to have a certain politeness to you, which it is unfair that we should just be able to exist without have that constant worry of how you present yourself to people. And my last question is, why is it important to you that Bread pushes for police reform?
Um, it's very important to me because I think that it's high time that, first of all, I don't agree, and I think the Fraternal Order of Police has too much say so and too much power. And some of the things that they say, just like if an officer gets in trouble, chances are that he's not going to be, how do I want to say it, punished as severely as a non police officer. And they go about, and I don't think they do enough to really try to learn about our communities. They just go through the community and they are the ones that are, I'm lord of the castle, so to speak. And there's no trust, there's no whatever. And there's too much of that going on. And so that's why I think Bread needs to really push and really bring out the fact of how things really are, because even some of our um, police, they just feel like nothing's going to happen to them no matter what I do. And I don't think that's right. And I think that Bread is an organization that can call that to the attention of the public in a way with groups, numbers, and people are power, and that's what we need to have. And that's the only way that we can bring change is through the power of the people.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I'm thankful that I get to be a part of Bread for the semester and hopefully longer, but that I can hope be a part of that change and be a part of the people power and the advocacy for these policy changes and just to have a safer community. Um, yeah, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me about this stuff and to hear your personal experiences and your opinions, to see what you've seen. I really appreciate you taking the time out for that today.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed meeting and talking with you.
Thank you.